Welcome back to Paranormal Grounds. I am your host, Jennifer Ivins. Here we try to outrule and debunk as much as we possibly can. Today I'm not going to be doing a reaction video. I'm actually going to be doing more like a discussion video, and we are going to be talking about psychics versus mediums, or what that actually means. So I watch the Dead Files religiously. I pretty much watch any ghost show religiously. But there was one thing that always really bothered me as I watched the Dead Files. You know, if you're not familiar with what the Dead Files is, there is Amy Allan. She is what I assumed was a psychic medium. She does pretty much home readings for people. She goes throughout a building or a house and she tries to figure out what's going on there paranormal wise. And then at the very end, she does like this sketch where she shows what she was seeing so people can visualize what she was seeing. But what always really bothered me was at the very end, she always tells the homeowners whether or not it's safe for them to stay there. And she usually will recommend like different types of like Reiki masters or different mediums, priest, whoever, to come in and cleanse the home or move certain spirits on, etc., etc. But I never understood why she wouldn't just do it herself, because she's a psychic medium, right? She's already there, so why can't she just move these spirits on? Like, she's already communicating with them. They're communicating back to her, so why couldn't she just move them on herself when she's literally already there and she knows what she's seeing and doing and talking about, right? So that made me question, is she a psychic medium? What does that mean? What is a psychic medium? And what's the difference between someone who is psychic and someone who is not psychic? Vice versa. Well, vice versa. So on and so forth. Anyway, so I did a little bit of my own research. And this is pretty much what I found out. So most mediums act as psychics, but not all psychics act as mediums. So what does that even mean? So mediums, or a psychic medium, is somebody who can communicate between two worlds. So basically our worlds and then the spirit worlds. So they can go in, or they can receive information from people who have already passed on. Basically, you know, they open themselves up to receive information. I pretty much just said that. They open themselves up to information from a different plane. Whereas psychics, it's not world to world, it's soul to soul. So it's, say I was a psychic and you're sitting right in front of me. I'm the type of person, like, and visualize like the stereotypical like crystal ball, and you're at some weird like gypsy shop or something and they're telling you your future. A psychic is somebody who can look at your soul, whatever you believe in, and they can tell you about your past, present, and future. So things like your love life, your career, basically whatever you want about yourself. Whereas mediums don't do that. They can talk to your loved ones who are speaking through you, essentially, or through them, essentially. So they can connect with you, and then their loved ones will come forward, or whoever will come forward and give you a message. So the main difference between a psychic and a medium, or a psychic medium versus a psychic, mediums go from world to world, where psychics go from person to person, if that makes any sense. There is literally a huge, vast world out there of information. There's so many different things, like I said, like the Reiki masters, the mediums, clairvoyance, whereas clairvoyance can see things. So like clairvoyant, kind of like Amy Allan, I believe she is a psychic medium clairvoyant. She can communicate with the dead, and she can also see the dead. She also sees a lot of other weird things that I don't know if I totally believe, but that's like a whole nother topic, so we're not even gonna go there. Anyway, clairvoyants see things, so, which sounds terrifying. So they'll see like apparitions or spirits, I don't know if they can necessarily communicate with them, but they can definitely see them. But this also kind of begged the question for me, well, what's the difference between people who are sensitive versus people who are mediums or psychics or empaths or whatever? So basically, somebody who is super sensitive, in layman's terms, is basically somebody who is sensitive to all the elements. They get very overwhelmed very easily. They have pretty much like hypersensory issues. They feel like they need to, they get very overwhelmed, and they sometimes feel like they need to remove themselves from a situation because they can feel such intense energy. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're feeling energy from spirits, but they can feel everybody else around them, kind of like an empath. There's a lot that goes into being an empath. It's just kind of convoluted, honestly. When I was doing all my research for like sensitive versus empaths, it kind of just blended together. But basically, when you feel something, you feel it intensely. It's not normal for, it's not a normal thing that most people feel. Most people just kind of go throughout their day all willy-nilly, blah, 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 blah. But for people who are hypersensitive, they can feel everything around them in their environment. So it's kind of like, I guess, kind of like being a medium. Not really. But they can pick up on things that most people can't. Like they can pick up on energy change, or something in the air feels different, or somebody's mood changes. Like they're just very in tune with it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of why I felt like some sensitives kind of tiptoe into the medium world. And by the way, this is all speculation. This is all my own opinion. I don't really know. I'm not an expert. This is just from what I gathered in my own research. But mediums basically are people who have fine-tuned their extrasensory perception, or ESP. And when I was looking up the information on people who are sensitive or hypersensitive, whatever, that kind of felt like it was the same thing. So in my opinion, I feel people who are sensitives have the potential to be mediums. They just haven't fine-tuned their extrasensory perception. But that's pretty much all I gathered. There's so much information, and there's so many differing opinions on what is what and whatever. But that's kind of what I gathered. So going back to what I originally said before I got off topic a little bit, psychic mediums are people who can communicate with people who have already passed on. They can communicate from our worlds to the spirit worlds, and psychics are just people who communicate from them to you. So I hope that kind of cleared things up a little bit. I know I was very curious and kind of confused. It never really made any sense to me. I always just kind of thought they were the exact same thing. I guess I was a little bit ignorant to that, but no one's ever really talked about it in ghost shows. Not that I'm aware of anyway. So if you found that interesting as much as I did, there you go. You can obviously look up your own research. I literally just typed it into Google, psychic versus medium, sensitive versus empath, so on and so forth. I literally just took the most basic information that I found, because it is a lot of reading and there's a lot that goes into it. If there was something that you wanted me to go into further detail about, I am more than happy to do so. If you have any more questions about it, I'm happy to answer them. But I don't really know. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just somebody who is super obsessed with paranormal shows, and I find them extremely entertaining. That's pretty much it. So that's all I have for you for this video. I'm sorry if it was super confusing and a little bit erratic. But that's basically it. So thank you guys for watching my video. If you have any questions or you want to challenge anything I said, just leave a comment in the comment box below and I will 100% absolutely respond to you. If you liked my video, please give it a like and subscribe. Thank you so much.